everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is going to be a continuation on the experience of the endometrial biopsy. So let's talk about what happens when you get some bad news. So unfortunately that's what happened to me twice. So I've had a total of 3 now. Whoops! Woohoo! Wake up brain. I've had 3 so far. So I went to the first one. Obviously you've heard, or you may have heard about that experience from my previous video. I got the results back via my nurse, and she messaged me in my portal and said, you know, unfortunately we found chronic endometritis. So basically that's an inflammation of your uterine tissue. It's not life-threatening, it's nothing to be, it's symptom-free for the most part. I didn't have any symptoms, so I had no idea that I had this. Potentially I could have had this for quite a long time. Many times, although they don't know the cause, it could be from my previous miscarriages. It could be a number of things. They don't really know, but it doesn't really matter because it can be treated. So that's the good news, you guys. It can be treated. They put me on a round of antibiotics for 2 weeks, and I believe it was doxycycline. I could be saying that wrong. It absolutely tore up my stomach. What is pertaining to this video is that it's basically, I believe, a broad spectrum, not a doctor, but a broad spectrum antibiotic that they put me on. So what happened after that is, after the rounds of the meds, you have to go in for an additional biopsy, basically for proof of cure. Unfortunately, this biopsy, again, has the same procedure. You have to, schedule it after your period, before your ovulation, and they go and they take a second piece of your uterus. So unfortunately, I got a call again from the nurse that they, although I guess it maybe had gotten better, it was still there. Did a little bit of research. Now here's where it gets interesting. This is, again, my research, not the word from my doctor, so you need to check with your doctor. But when they do a biopsy and it's analyzed, when there are presence of what they call plasma cells, that's one of the supporting reasons to say, hey, that's how we know you have chronic endometritis. The first time after my first biopsy, they found plasma cells. The second, as well as something that starts with an E, it ends in like Phyllis. So they found 2 things that were indicators of chronic endometritis. After the second biopsy, they found no plasma, but they did find that thing that starts with an E that ends in Phyllis. You might want to look that up. In fact, maybe I'll put it in the description. They found that. So the second time around, and this is what's really interesting, not only did they give me another round of antibiotics, they also gave me a form of Claritin. Like, who knows, Claritin, which kind of makes sense. I think the reason that they did this was because after researching that thing that starts with an E, one of that particular microorganism or whatever it is found in many cases in like allergies, asthma, that type of thing. So I think that that's why they prescribed me this other form of Claritin. It's not called Claritin, it's called something else. You know how that goes. So I was put on that as well. So 2 different medications for the second time. I had my 3rd biopsy done yesterday, and let me tell you, this one absolutely was horrible because they had to go back in for more tissue. Normally, like how I described the first procedure was they go in, they get some tissue, and they're out, and you're done. However, after they got the tissue, they have like a technician that's there in the office that analyzes how much tissue they got. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, so they had to go back in for a second time, which was awful. So I have more spotting this time than I did previously. Yes, it was like 2 rounds of pain, which was awful, but they got what they needed. So there was really no other way around it. So here's my advice that I didn't really mention before, just because I didn't know, because that was the first time I went through it. Having gone through this 3 times, plus the additional time they had to go in, it's almost like 4, I learned a couple of things. Number 1, ask for that Valium or whatever they can give you, any type of anything to relax you or get your mind off the pain. The second thing, take that about 45 to 50 minutes before your procedure. So don't think you can pop the pill in the parking lot and walk right in. No. You want to do this almost an hour before your procedure, and it will really kick in. Same with that ibuprofen. Don't think that you can take this 15 minutes before driving, at a red light on your way in. Don't do that, because you won't. You'll find that you'll be like feeling relaxed after the procedure, but during you'll be a wreck like I was. So take that well in advance. And if you get put on the family of cycling medicines, or the ones that I was prescribed, they'll tell you to take it with food. My advice, eat like 15-20 minutes before you take it with food. Because I've noticed that made me so nauseous that even if I was to eat at the same time, I'd want to throw up. I mean, and God forbid you don't eat when you take this stuff, it will literally, you'll be on the couch like, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to get sick. I was at a store one time when I forgot to eat and I took it, and I literally had to leave because I thought I was going to barf everywhere. So eat before you take the pill. That's my warning, that's my advice. It will help you tremendously. And I will say this, if you have to do more than one, please don't read the internet and freak out about it. You'll be in a better mindset, I think, the second time going in, and even if possibly the third time going in. Just know that they're treating you and that you're going in for a reason, and that it has an end result. It's not like you're going to go in and they're going to biopsy you and they're like, that's it, you're screwed. No, you're going to go out of there with a plan, some type of plan or course of action. So just keep that in your mind. It definitely helped me, and it's still continuing to help me get through this. So I personally like to know that I've done everything possible. I've checked every box prior to trying to conceive again. So our particular path is moving towards artificial insemination. So because everything else checked out with me, this is the last thing. You know, they just want to dot every I and cross every T. So that's my advice, my final piece of advice, and definitely ask your doctor about this. So when you have a biopsy, my time frame window was that you had to have it after your cycle, but before your ovulation. So you're dealing with kind of a small window of time. However, within that small window, if you can get as close to ovulation as possible, definitely time it out that way. If you've got to take a day off work, do it. I made the mistake of going in literally right after, like 2 days after my cycle, my period ended. The reason that it is not good is because after you obviously shed all of your lining after your cycle, there's not much there. I mean, you're starting from scratch. That's why they had to go in a second time to get more tissue. You don't want that. If you're closer to ovulation, it's kind of a quick thing because there's a lot of tissue to choose from, right? So, and let me just make this clear. So here is an example of when you don't want to do it. So if you see, this is literally 2 days after my cycle and it's way before menstruation. This is when you do want to do it. Try to get on one of these days. So one of these circle days that I have up here. I think that this will really help you. It will possibly prevent you from having someone having to go in a second time because they didn't get enough tissue. So fingers crossed for me, everybody. I'm hoping this is the third and final time, third time the charm. Let's hope. I will keep you updated. Please let me know any questions you have. Try not to let this freak you out. I know that it really got to me, but I'm here today. I pretty much slept all day yesterday after the procedure just because I was in pain since they had to go in twice. Obviously the meds had me in la land after, so yesterday was a wash. So if you can get the day off work, give yourself some time, get some good boring movies. I like that'll put you to sleep when you get home, and just let it do its thing. So thanks so much for watching. Best of luck on your journey. If you're struggling with infertility, believe me, I know. And I will keep you updated. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll do another cooking video today. Now that I've got a ton of sleep behind me, I'm feeling pretty bulletproof. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Find me on Instagram, Makeup with Michigan Michelle. And as always, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, have a wonderful day, bye.